Welcome back to HMS Odyssey Presents. We are going into it with Meg Zeek in Human Design. We are opening up the chart today and starting the reading. I hope you enjoy. If you do, hit the like, drop a comment, and subscribe.
So when I start any session, I just ask for an intention with the person who's getting the reading. So if you have an intention in mind, then you can go ahead and state that. You can even just keep it in your mind. You don't have to say it out loud either.
So are we talking about intentions in life or?
An intention of something you want to get out of this.
Okay. I guess I'd like to know because, I've done interviews with other HD. I've studied a little bit on myself. The words are words, right? And we translate them according to how our perception is. So I have a very broad overview of who I am. So I guess with you, I would love to see your personal dynamic and how you integrate and add this information to help me kind of like supercharge like who I am. So, just getting more awareness about what I can do to live more in my design to like maximize my potential.
Beautiful. Kind of a breakthrough. Potential.
Yeah.
Maximize. Beautiful. Okay. And then, excuse me. The next thing that we do is you can close your eyes. You don't have to. Just make sure you're comfortable and just take a few cleansing breaths in through the nose. Keep your intentions in mind and out through the mouth. Through the nose. Out through the mouth. Sometimes I will tell people to go ahead and let out a lion's breath, which is tongue out, and just let it all out, and keeping that intention right at the center of you. Okay. So when you're ready, we'll go ahead and start.
I like it. The tongue out reminds me of I'm a big fan of New Zealand rugby, and they do a traditional tribal dance called the haka when they face their opponents. Yeah.
Love that.
That's what it reminds me of.
Yes, it's a power move.
Oh yeah. I've seen it in person. It definitely is.
Yes. I could go on a whole tangent there. Yes, it's amazing in person. Okay, so from here, just take what resonates. And if something doesn't feel right for you, you leave it. It's still information. It's still feedback. If you ever want to grab it again, you have access to it.
Okay.
Just take what resonates and feel free, like as stories bubble up, as memories come up, or different questions. I'll make sure that you don't have questions before I move on, and feel free to interject. It's flexible. So move in whenever you want to.
Perfect.
So I always like to start by explaining a little bit of the background of human design and the 5 different types.
Okay, sounds good.
Cool. So human design is a mixture of several methodologies from both Eastern and Western practices, really all combined into one. So you've got the chakra system, you've got astrology, you've got the Chinese I Ching, quantum physics, quantum genetics, so more like epigenetics. So you have this whole sphere that's coming together and giving you this very specific blueprint. And I have done my research on this. There is no one chart that is the same as someone else's chart. So this really is your snowflake, your unique fingerprint, right?
Awesome.
And so you're a generator, and you know about being a generator. And I know you know a little bit about manifestors as well. So just to kind of give a description of what all of that means. So the world was actually, I want to say, built off of manifestors and generators. So manifestors are about 8% of the world. They are lions. They're here to bulldoze a new path. They are here to teach, inspire. And back, we think about way back in the day when these energies first started showing up, we would think of manifestors kind of being like the rulers, the lawmakers. And not that necessarily they were, it's just the image, right? And then generators were the workhorses. Okay, so generators make up 70% of our population. They have a subtype inside of there as well. So manifestors and generators, they came first. Our world was really built off of them. I like to say that generators are the people who built the Eiffel Tower. They have this consistent energy to perform and to make things happen, right? So many of our greatest accomplishments just all over the world have been created by generators, which is really, really cool. So those are the first two types in our sphere, right? The next type is a subtype of generators. They are called manifesting generators. So they have, again, this connection to the throat. They also have that consistent energy. So they're a little bit of a mix. They are considered generators though. And they're a little bit of a mix, right, of the manifestor and the generator together. So they've got a lot of energy. They're also here to show a new way. Oftentimes, you'll see them showing several different ways, okay? Because of that consistent energy and consistent flow of throat energy. They zigzag. So the next to come, those were the reflectors. Reflectors, if you're looking, at your body graph, reflectors have no colored in spaces on their chart. They have no definition in their chart.
What?
Right. So they are considered energy samplers, where, they pick and choose and they see what works in their world. They're usually really spiritual people. So if we're going with the analogies, I would consider them something like a monk or a nun, maybe a hobbit. Hopefully I don't offend anyone because I say the same thing to everybody. But they're very spiritual. They have a deep connection with source, and they're highly empathic, which sometimes, that's why I say maybe they're a hobbit, because they like to maybe keep to themselves for that reason.
Okay.
So the very newest energy type to enter our sphere again is projectors. And that's what I am. Projectors are seers, they are observers, problem solvers. Primarily though, they are people who are not seeing themselves. So if that gives you just kind of a different picture of all the different energy types so that you know why yours is different.
Yeah. So one quick question that I've never understood, and you did explain it, but I'm curious of why is a manifesting generator considered a generator and not a manifester? Or why isn't it in its own category?
Mentally, manifesting generators are in their own category for me.
Okay.
And
is it because they have their root or the solar plexus defined?
They have their sacral defined always.
Sacral.
So that red square, Yeah, the same one that you have defined that makes you a generator.
Okay.
And that's why they're considered a generator type, which to me is neither here nor there.
Well, I was just curious. Yeah, I mean, you said the throat was defined in a manifesting generator. So obviously I have the sacral, which is lit up, which is the trait of a generator, but I also have my throat lit up.
Yes. So there would be a direct connection through your channels. There would be a direct connection from your sacral to your throat to make you a manifesting generator.
Okay, so one of these 3 little bars has to be connected all the way through.
All the way through, yeah.
Ah, okay.
Does that help?
Something I didn't know. Absolutely.
Yes, there you go. Cool. So now that you have a little bit of an awareness on all the types, I'll tell you a little bit more about being a generator. And I know you have a pretty good understanding on this. So I think one of the things that I would want, or a couple of the things that I'd want to point out to you as a generator, is that you do have consistent energy. That does not mean that you have constant energy, right? So sometimes generators will think that they have constant energy. So they go until their body says, pass out for 5 days. And a generator can do that. Still doesn't mean that it's necessarily healthy, right? So just remember, the difference between consistent and constant. The other thing about having that sacral energy is that people see it in you. So nobody has to look at your body graph to know that you have this source of energy, this workforce power inside of you. People feel it, they know it, and so they want to latch onto it. And as a generator, many people are going to invite you to be in their space for that reason. So being really aware of what the energy feels like to you. It always feels good to be recognized and invited into something, right? Like that always feels good. So setting aside that piece of it, the recognition piece, and asking yourself, okay, what does that energy of the work, what does that energy of the relationship actually feel like to me? Does it feel healthy? Does it feel like something I want to step into?
Okay.
Go ahead.
So it's like I have my own choice to decide where my energy goes, and that's what I should do. Okay.
Yes, and we'll talk about that a little bit as well, as far as how to make that choice. I just like generators to know, because it's very common and it can create a people-pleasing tendency, or even maybe a fixer mentality. Does that resonate with you at all?
In certain ways.
Yeah.
In certain ways, yeah.
Yeah. So for a generator, it is really important to learn the skill of saying no, putting up boundaries around that energy. Boundaries are important for a generator, so that you have control of where that energy is going and if it's something that feels aligned for you. And then the last piece about being a generator that I love and I think is really, really special, this is why the world was built off of generators, in my own thinking, is that when a generator is lit up about a project, experience, anything, when you're lit up and you feel that power inside of you and you're excited about it, then everyone else feels it too. It's like shining the light for everyone else. This almost like optimism, this hope that people can cling on to. And it's a win-win, right? We're kind of lighting up the whole world there. So I think that that's a really special trait that generators have. Now, speaking into your strategy, because we were talking about the choice of, where does your energy go?
Mm-hmm.
So your strategy as a sacral generator, there are 2 different types of generators. Your strategy as a sacral generator is to respond. So like I said earlier, invitations are constantly coming your way. The sun is shining. That's an invitation to go outside. Does your gut tell you yes or no? So with that strategy, you are using your sacral, you are using your authority as the sacral, right? To listen to your gut. We've heard that saying our entire lives, right? Listen to your gut. Yeah. You're the only being that is meant to do that. All other forms, all other types, and even some generators are meant to listen to other areas of their body to make the most aligned decision for them. So when the sun is shining, right? Invitation to go outside as an example, your gut is going to either light up, feel warm and free, expand, or it's going to shrink in, contract, and it's going to tell you which one is aligned for you in that moment, right? So you'll know once the energy is in front of you that you can listen to your gut. And the hard part of that for generators too is that even though we've heard listen to your gut before, we've also been conditioned to use our mind to make decisions, right? So getting out of your head and really listening to your body. Of course, sometimes we do have to use logic to make some choices, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So when it says strategy and responding, so that means when something is presented right in front of me that I need to respond to it right away? Is that what that means?
It means that you can respond to it right away.
Okay.
Not that you need to.
Okay.
I don't like to should on people.
No, yeah, that's fine, because I've never really understood the strategy. So I just wanted to get a little clarity while you were going over it.
Does that make more sense now, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I listen to my gut, and my gut instinct, essentially responds for me. So,
yes.
I'm responsive
to. So there's a practice in listening. Yes.
Okay.
And there's a practice in listening to your gut as well. So sometimes I like to lead generators through, this is kind of a silly exercise. If you're into it, we'll do it though. Where
let's try it.
I'm just going to ask some very simple yes/no questions, and you get to pay attention to what your gut does. Give me your automatic response.
Okay.
Good?
All right. Yeah. Well, hold on. I'm going to stop share so people can see.
Okay. Would you like to go skydiving?
I've been, yeah.
Okay. Did you brush your teeth this morning?
Yes.
Do you like the color purple?
Yes.
Okay. Would you like to go to Hawaii?
Yes.
Would you like to write a book?
Yes. It's so funny. You're hitting like all like. So I was just talking with Dorothy about this. I was like, we haven't been on a vacation since COVID started, and I was literally thinking either Iceland or Hawaii, and then you said Hawaii, and I was like,
oh, funny.
And I've been thinking about writing a book, a fiction book. I've been thinking about it for a while. So it's funny that you just keep saying this.
That is funny.
Yeah.
My questions are always different for everyone. So that is funny.
That's really cool.
I will say though, would you like me to share some feedback on what I noticed?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, first I'd like to hear if you felt your gut expand, contract, anything. Did you feel your gut on any of those?
Yeah, I was trying to, some of them were very instinctual because I've already been skydiving. I love it. I want to go again, of course. And then, the color purple, I tried to like lean into that, and, I do like purple as a color. So it's every question you've asked has been, the color purple one is probably the most out there, because everything else was very aligned with what things that I've already been thinking of anyway. So I responded very quickly because it's already things that I've had in my mental space.
Yeah. And that is interesting. That I don't know.
Yeah. I don't feel like, I don't really feel like I had to use a lot of like gut energy to like answer those. You know what I mean?
Let me try to think of something that's a little harder that maybe you haven't thought about. How about, the weekend's coming up. So would you like to go out to an Italian restaurant for dinner this weekend?
No.
You had to think about that one.
Yeah, I was trying to like lean into it. Like let my gut kind of like, it feels a little like more compact.
Okay.
Feels like a little tighter.
Okay, good. So you did feel that. And I'll just do one more like really silly one. Do you like the shoes you're wearing?
Yes, because I'm not wearing any.
Yes, okay. So for you, just having those yes/no questions helps you to practice listening to your gut, right? Helps to like feel the difference, and especially those more futuristic questions. So another thing that I always tell generators is, let's say that you're in a business meeting, or maybe you and Dorothy, since you said her name, I feel like I can too. Maybe you and Dorothy are trying to decide what your vacation plans are.
Uh-huh.
And they're kind of talking at you and asking you for feedback. And you say like, I really don't know. You can ask them to rephrase into a yes/no question. And especially when it comes to Dorothy, I would say she would be 100% like all about that, because it's helping you practice, right?
Yeah. I mean, I guess I could do that for myself too, because if someone, it's kind of along the lines of talking about language with people from my course. So, if you're searching for an answer, you don't have to use filler words like actually all the time to fill them. You can actually just say, that's a really good question, let me think about that. And then I could just rephrase it to myself in my own head.
There you go.
Yeah.
Because
I actually do that. I've done that a lot throughout my life. If someone asks me something in a way that I don't quite understand, I'll try to reframe it in my own head. Be like, kind of like using different perspectives to understand something in a different way.
Yes. Love it.